Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So, we struggled, or I struggled, to beat the Kraken in the Istanbul level, and then once I looked up the solution online, turned out you just had to shoot the Kraken in the eyes, even though he wasn't really reacting as much as he really should when he was getting shot in the eyes with the spear gun. Once all that was completed, though, we are now in this fast-paced action sequence right after a fairly difficult boss fight in which we're supposed to be rescuing Mei Ying inside this Hong Kong Chinese theater slash nightclub. I guess it would probably be closer to a nightclub. I mean, they really are just aping everything from that first sequence, which is a pretty famous sequence in Temple of Doom. Why Indiana Jones needs to rescue Mei Ying when she seems to be by far way more capable about kung fuing her way out of fights, I don't know. And frankly, Indiana Jones is not capable at all of kung fuing his way out of fights, so I'm getting a lot of damage put on me. So yeah.
This ought to be the odds.
So the second chapter here involves us getting a shotgun. They've introduced this idea of opening doors when it doesn't really make the most sense that you would consistently have a real call to up until this point, most of the time when you went to a door to activate it, it wouldn't work. And if you could open the door, it was because you had already seen that door and you were coming back and making a shortcut. Why were we making shortcuts? I have no idea, because I was mostly in the German castle, and unless they had planned on you running around the German castle a lot more, it's just not necessary. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually hitting people. And then here you have another door that is just a wall. So we're straight up just doing cover-based shooting now. They've basically decided to make a completely different game here. Better run. You can see that both of these will get hit by a shotgun blast. But I'm definitely barely getting enough bullets to take out like one person. There's a med kit. There's a chair.
I'm gonna be a rich man.
There's a doll.
Alive.
And here we have yet another mirror that works. They really want to show off some technology attempts here in the working reflecting mirror, but they can only really show it off in a tiny side room, just like the last mirror we saw.
That's not.
So by modern standards, that's obviously not impressive.
That's
Let's see. what's in here. Just an empty room with a mirror, chair, and a desk. It looks kind of like an interrogation room with no lighting and anything really. But this guard came out of it. We have minimal amounts of bullets. So, potentially you'd be better off just exiting the level and reloading. Now these loading sections have images too that are not being shown.
Dr. Jones, I presume.
Yeah, who the hell are you?
My name is Wuhan. I'm here to meet Ming.
Well, you just missed it.
So I noticed. Please get in. We must hurry.
Don't you own a car?
So now are we doing some kind of car-based race section?
This ain't working.
Look under the seat.
Okay. So am I shooting tires or am I shooting people? It seems to me like I'm maybe supposed to be aiming for explosive barrels. Potentially save some bullets. Nope. Just aim for tires. Shooting signs does nothing. That's enough explosive barrels to justify only shooting explosive barrels. So I guess we got a checkpoint there. With all these animals, chickens running around. I don't know if you actually have just an infinite amount of bullets, or if it just feels like you have an infinite amount of bullets. No, you do have an infinite amount of bullets. So this is something very different. Why didn't we have a sequence like this much earlier in the game, though? Like a single person chasing you on a motorcycle being the boss fight potentially, or a mid-boss fight in that first level, wouldn't have been terrible. Pretty easy to miss the tires. I guess I could just hit the engine. There's a level of repetitiveness here where it definitely feels like it would make sense to separate this out and have two sequences like this more separate than one long sequence like this. It also has a fairly tight auto lock in that if I just put the cursor over a person, it locks on that person. So I'm having to actually target other people or the engines or the tires to try and speed up this process. Although I don't know if I really am speeding up the process any. It might just be easier to shoot the driver. Although in the case of the car, like in the case of the car, there really isn't a driver you can shoot. We have a considerably larger amount of cutscenes now too. It's almost like the first 3 levels were supposed to be way shorter than they were.
To Kai's fortress. A Island most likely.
We'll have to move fast. Where's your boat?
At the next dock. Hop in.
I think I'll walk.
So now we have a loading sequence showing from Hong Kong to, let's see, Hong Wai, which is just on the eastern coast of China apparently. So that was a short 2-part level too, whereas everything up until this point has been really long levels.
Have an elevator.
No. But there is a gondola system that runs throughout the entire complex.
It can't be that easy.
It's not. The gondola station is in the middle of a Nazi submarine base.
Figures.
Good luck. I'll be here when you get back.
Aren't you coming along?
What good is finding Mei Ying if you can't get off the island?
Right.
So we've introduced this new guy, which that cutscene didn't look like it was fully rendered correctly, because it feels like he was supposed to have his hat in his hand and then put it on. We did get in the cutscene in between the Hong Kong level and the Istanbul level. We did get an explanation as to how one of the guys that sent us on this mission turns out to be the bad guy, which is very much in line with a Indiana Jones story. I need this guy to die fairly quickly so I can get up. I guess we'll go up for oxygen first and not die. Or we will die. I guess the idea may be to get on the platform. So we know that the Chinese guy who sent us on this quest is actually the runner of a triad, and so as such he's a bad guy, and he's made a deal with the Nazis, which brings the Nazis in, and now he's trying to double cross the Nazis. I did speculate that once we had the 3 collectible pieces of the mirror, we would then probably have somebody steal the mirror from us, or in some other way move the story upward, so that we might have a second act challenge. Okay. So now we can go back to where we were. And then go back to spear gun. Two shots seem to be what you can get. Let's grab some demo charges. Well, it seems like I can only grab one this time. That's weird. 2 sharks. Well, that was not enough to kill either one. I wonder if they're intentionally setting up a situation where you can't kill the sharks, or there's some other element to it. We have these big yellow tanks, which you'd think might be something that you're trying to shoot. But yeah, I'm not sure. You would think there would be more urgency to get out of the water when swimming in shark-infested water. Guess we should just switch to the machete since we don't have anything else we can interact with. And I'm guessing I can't get up on there, and I need to get up on there. So let's go ahead and place a demolition charge this way, since that's the only place we know where we're supposed to place a demolition charge. Then swim out of the way.
They want fireworks. I'll give them fireworks.
Now I need to float through here because there's a shark chasing me. How many fireworks, demolition charges do we have left? None. Alright, well. Down we go. I would have thought that the game would have had their fill of me getting attacked by sharks and water levels, but apparently not. They've effectively just broken up what was a long water level with the Hong Kong chase sequence into now 2 almost back-to-back water levels. I don't think there's actually anything over here. We can see if maybe we can kill this guy. They have a slow animation when they die, so it's easy to waste another shot. And this is interesting. You have like this one tree that feels like it was a tree in the first level, and they just are bringing it back. I don't know for the best reason. Like, I have to assume we're going to end up seeing more trees and get into a more forested type level. Right. That's a better angle. Let's climb up fairly high. I should probably make these jumps so that you clear with your full length of the bottom of your feet and not just try to grab the ledge. As long as you're not at the absolute top, it seems like you get enough momentum. It seems like that, at least. Yeah, we're starting to see some more trees. Last second jump this way. Ooh, that jump felt very herky-jerky. Yeah. One guy just jumped in the water and immediately died. But I am concerned here that this game may have just been running too long and now it's starting to lose stability. Although a second generation 3D adventure game like this, in general, I wouldn't just make that assumption that I've seen in more modern games where a lot of times it does seem like there's a memory leak. Of course, there's as good of a reason that there'd be a mini memory leak on an old game as there is a new game, but there is no shaders probably getting pulled in and out using a game like this. This game is probably using something around DirectX 9 at most, not like a DirectX 12, which would have a lot more support for shaders, assuming it is even using DirectX. I would assume it is. I have a foggy sky here. Of course, you don't get a good look at the entrance there. What would support the idea that the game is getting herky-jerky would be that it loaded in potentially that it had loaded in entirely new code for the car chase sequence, and when it did that, it lost some stability or lost some RAM. Of course, on a modern PC it should have nearly infinite amounts of RAM, relatively speaking. It does seem too that we are getting... Wow, that's really foggy.
Not bad. Sometimes I see them myself.
It does seem like we are just Panzer Creek ammo. Panzer Creek is a rocket launcher.
I'm gonna be a rich man if I ever get out of this alive.
So you have this big vase, and we have a rocket launcher. And I have no way to not use the rocket launcher, so unless we are just running into a big boss fight in this next section, which you'd assume you were if they're giving you a rocket launcher. Does Indiana Jones as a game need a rocket launcher? No. Absolutely not. It's silly. Well, that was ridiculous. Maybe by loading back in we'll increase our stability.
Boom. Not bad. Sometimes I see them myself.
Right. I'm gonna aim as far away as possible. Okay. So that gets one person killed. Then the rest of it is a running sequence like this, which we've seen this before. You can see, not super interesting, though. Just gotta, probably worth it to pull back here to cantina and refill our health. It seems to me like they hit a lot harder. It's interesting these lanterns explode. See, and I'd have to expect there just to be a tank that like bursts through the wall. That would make about the most sense as to why they would give you a rocket launcher. Otherwise it feels like they just gave you the rocket launcher to goof around with now, because you're not going to see it again until very close to the end of the game. We can break those, we can't break that one. The only other thought would be potentially to get the rocket launcher and shoot that. And this was the first guy we killed. This is nothing but a monster closet. This is nothing but a monster closet. Some nice little different patterns on the walls. You'd almost think that these lightings had something to do with swinging back and forth, but I don't think they do. None of these guys had guns to drop or bullets to drop. So they're not letting me refill. Now we have a very rough transition here where we were in Chinese castle, now we're back into cave section, and very possibly from the wet grouse sound of my footprints we will end up back in the water.
Some kind of entrance up on that cliff. I'm gonna need a lift.
We're doing another crane puzzle. Where are we supposed to go? Which way, I wonder? Follow the lights. That's it for our spear gun. Unless we can get spear gun bullets back, which doesn't seem like we can. Which arguably maybe I shouldn't waste the spear gun bullets on people. Does seem like you could get on the other side of that wall. There's something important on the other side of that wall. Nothing on the shelves this time. Just some MP40 ammo. Can't punch a window out. Nothing here where the light is lighting. Nothing in this canister. Could I even go back up if I wanted to? Nope, it was a one-way drop. Definitely seems like they're mostly cutting. I'll have an MP40 here. It definitely seems like they're mostly just cutting the... Come on. Do this section. You'd think pistol whipping somebody and hitting them with it would do more damage, but it really does just seem like it's exactly the same as bare-fisted punches. This guy seems to be quite the glutton for punishment. But yeah, it definitely feels like they've increased the health of some of our enemies here. And I have to run around to figure out where's the ladder to then slide to the next section. It kind of feels like this would be the area where we started, but I don't think it is. Pull out the whip and press the X button there. I could see myself forgetting which button activates what on that slide and accidentally running and jumping. Also, I see myself just dying horribly here. Three shots, we get one back. Four shots, we get four back. Meanwhile, we don't have any health kits and we don't have any water in the cantina. There's nothing in here special. Maybe if I'd let them wander around, they would have wandered to this explosive barrel and I could have saved some health there. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the med kit. I did have one, after all. Yeah, I definitely feel like they're hurting themselves now by trying to copy and paste previous elements in previous levels and reuse them. Because we've already had our satisfaction enough entertainment around these crane puzzles and the underwater section. We got as much entertainment as we're going to get out of it, at least. So I guess we're picking this up now. And then what? They're trying to reuse, I guess, a lot of gimmicks here. Potentially to justify the existence of the gimmicks, but also potentially just to stretch out the game. Notice how it adjusted so it would perfectly line up. I am really confused as to how that does anything for me. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope it's the other direction that it needs to go. Now, if there was two characters in this story, instead of just the damsel in distress who got kidnapped, you would think maybe Indiana Jones has to stand on that while the other controls it. And this would be a two-character controlled by one puzzle. Well, there's absolutely nothing there. You'd think it would just snap into a cutscene if you'd done the correct action. I can lower it. Am I supposed to raise it more? Yeah, I think I am. So the Y button changes the camera angle. Did I just shoot a gun on accident? If I did, I shouldn't have. See, you can see your shadow all the way over there, and that's interesting. It looks like there'd be a whole section over on that side that we're potentially ignoring. In favor of going up to this part. Yeah. I think we're doing the right thing. Run, jump, swing, end up here, and then probably just run, jump at the last second, grab the ledge. The game probably helping me quite a bit there. If Indiana Jones was going to be this lonely throughout the whole game, for lack of a better term, he really should just be talking to himself more, giving me little audio hints. What does this do? It just opens the elevator door. And see, now we're inside a building that's not too far off of what was it, Peru or Portugal, the Nazi castle level. This feels a little bit more modern and militaristic, I guess, but that's about the only difference. MP40 ammo, if we could just find the MP40, we'd probably be in a good position.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I guess there is an elephant in the room around the general idea that you can always hate on Nazis and very few people are going to complain. Nobody that really matters. But having like communist Chinese or even triad Chinese people as the bad guys might come off a little bit more offensive. Seems like you would just be able to jump this ladder, jump this fence. I suppose this is one way you could have integrated water more, is to have just watery sections inside the buildings. I have no idea how I'm supposed to. I guess I'm probably supposed to just sneak around. But unlike a truly punishing stealth game, we really don't have to fight on that level of stealth. The game doesn't reset itself or anything when you get caught. Interesting. Body's in the way. But you don't have a crouch button either. So this is hardly what you would really call a stealth game.
Times like this, realization that can change your job.
Med kit. I can see a window up there. Yeah, I have no idea why I set off the alarm. I have no idea why I'm hearing gas sounds.
You're gonna be a rich man.
This guy has a flamethrower. I don't even have a gun. So I set off the alarm. And that called these guys, which maybe that was a smart move, maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. Probably wasn't a smart move. Can I do anything here? Like, I'm on a sliver of health. And we've got potentially infinitely spawning flamethrower guys. So I think the lesson to learn there is don't set off the alarm. If at all possible.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. So I think you may very well just want to wait until this guy walks past you, but is he going to walk past you and then immediately see you? Come on. Your knife not really anywhere as useful as it should be. And then, is there any way you can chase this guy so he doesn't set off an alarm? If me chasing him stopped him from setting off the alarm, it's simply because he has been programmed to not set off the alarm if I happen to be within a certain distance.
Fortune and glory, here I come.
Did that kill the guy when I knocked him out of the window? No. Did that even do a significant extra amount of damage? Not sure. So he got shot there right before the alarm would have activated, I guess. Right. Obviously, there's a very unnatural inability here for them to just scream for help. Let's see. What's in this room?
This ought to be the odds.
Now we have an MP40, which we've had a decent amount of bullets for. And we even know where we might find some more bullets. So yeah, you really just don't have the systems in place here to support which one of these would be the exit out.
That's not gonna work.
I guess the other way. Yeah. You really don't have the systems in place to support a true stealth mission or a true stealth game. So then it just feels a little awkward to try to emulate stealth when you really can't. Right. We'll try to grapple again. See, as long as you can knock these guys away from their guns, then you're in a pretty good position. Not now, though. switch over to MP40. Let's just run for our lives while we're at it. Like, we are very low on health. And we can just leave the level, so let's just leave the level.
I see that you have brought the third shot of the mirror. Good. The stars are in perfect alignment. We will hold the ritual tonight.
Don't be so hasty, Marshal Kai, or whatever it is you call yourself these days. There is still the matter of the American. Jones, the man you said to
so you have
steal the second piece from me.
Two twin triad girls behind one guy in different colored dresses, and then two blonde Nazi guys behind the Nazi leader. Look like twins also.
It is you who watch your tongue while you are on my island. I allow you to construct this facility in exchange for German weaponry. But the heart of the dragon is a separate matter. Your Fuhrer have the heart once I have control of China. Until then, don't forget where you stand border over things.
That one can't be trusted. No, cannot. He must be eliminated as soon as the heart of the dragon has been recovered. I shall see this.
And that just leaves one guy. But I am in a pretty bad position here, as we're sneaking around a German submarine facility, which...
Your papers are in order. Go ahead.
That's the way to the gondola station. If I had the right to change clothes, I might even get a ride.
This definitely feels similar to the situation of sneaking around the German castle in, I believe that was Last Crusade. But I kind of also question, interesting, if they aren't really going for a slightly different experience now.
Halt!
And we're back to this. And honestly, I might be better off dying now. Instead of dealing with all of this as is. There's a lot of outside areas and the water section. It kind of feels like I'm going back.
That's not gonna work.
So, yeah. This is a very different sequence and not a better sequence by any means. Like, we're doing way too much stealth. we're being encouraged to basically not engage with the systems that we have learned and done well with, and instead engage with new systems with alarms going off. Of course, this game could be a lot worse. I mean, it's undeniable that if there was stealth sections throughout the entirety of the game, I would have probably lost interest in this game much earlier. Which that is still definitely a possibility. I don't know how I'm supposed to get someone's outfit though. If anything, it would make more sense that you would just get on the ledge and walk around the ledge that way, or you would climb up high up here. It doesn't seem like you're just supposed to run through the gate, so that might very well be a solution. Come on. What's interesting here is in a lot of games when you can open doors, you can usually double tap and in the double tapping you can slam the door open in case somebody's behind it. That system obviously does not exist here. I'm generally just kind of confused as to like what you're even looking for. It seems like these doors point towards the direction to go. It sounds like I can hear somebody else breathing. Yeah, you get into this part and he sets off the alarm, and I guess the idea is that maybe you're supposed to take out everybody as the alarm goes. Well, this hardly feels like a stealth sequence now. Is there any benefit to actually... Let's go ahead and quit for two reasons here. Is there any benefit to fighting them forever? Or should you just run to turn off the alarm? It's crazy they give you 10 save games. And yeah, since Hong Kong was really short, Ping Lao Lagoon also is its own separate thing, which I guess if we're potentially going to have a lot of short sections, it might explain the spacing here. There could easily be 3 more levels after this. What I wanted to find out here, in particular though, was if I exit out, will I actually get a full refill on my health and my bullets? Here we have an interesting picture of Willie Scott from Temple of Doom, but a lot of these paper things do definitely feel like they're redundant again. Even the Willie Scott one seems redundant. U-boat base part 1, so we know there's a whole second part to it. Let's load in and see if my question is answered. I think it is that you get a full refill if you exit the whole game, but in this case we can see it's not a full refill, just in general. No full refill health. So, you really are painted in a situation here where you're just not likely to be able to survive. My only hope would be to do this, take out this guy, and then hope that I can get a brief second to run and swap this. And then I don't know what else I'm supposed to do there. Yeah. So I could be in real trouble if exiting out the full app does not allow you a full refill. The store doesn't open. This guy sets off an alarm, and then you're pretty well doomed. I couldn't imagine fighting your way through all of this. That even if that did work for you, you also run into the problem of potentially, oh, I had a med kit. I could have been using it. Yeah. You can't turn off the alarm at that point. So that creates another situation where the alarm would just go off forever. We don't have a map, and as far as I ever knew, we don't have a way of bringing up like a sub-map, which that's kind of interesting that there is a sub-map in the Infernal Machine and they got rid of it in this game, but not super surprising. Still very slightly racist Chinese drums sounds. It's stereotypical. Yeah, I guess it's important perhaps to not call everything racist, but just say it's stereotypical, and soften the phrase. We're supposed to find our way into the U-bolt pins, and we'll do that in the next recording. Hopefully, if not, then we may just be at the point where I don't know what else I could do. Like, if I perhaps have to reload a previous chapter, would it save what my health was at that previous chapter? Because if it did, then that probably wouldn't be that helpful, particularly if we start having to think about going back 2 or 3 chapters until we can find a place where we can play a little bit better to refill our health or increase the number of bullets we have. Once you start a full level, though, obviously you're going to be at full health and full bullets at that point, so you wouldn't have to go back all the way to the beginning of the game or to a previous level, but even going back 1 chapter does not sound very interesting. That being said, I do have a lot of hope that if I just exit the game completely, it will reset all of my health and bullets to a default level. If it doesn't do that, maybe I would even consider cheating a little bit and seeing if I can modify a save file to give myself some more bullets. We never really are in a position where we can have a lot of bullets, and then they want us to be stealth, but there's not really a way to be stealth. It would be kind of crazy if it turned out that you can strangle people with the whip, for instance, and then that would be like an instant kill. I don't think the game ever said anything like that. You can headlock people with your hands being empty, but that's not an instant kill either. But clearly this whole section is around the idea of stealth, and we don't have a crouch button. We don't have any way to really be in stealth. So it seems very much like a half-finished idea. And there is definitely a danger here that they put all of their half-finished ideas into the back half of a game like this, and that it's just going to get increasingly more broken as we go further. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me even further, there's some links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.